Hey guys, so I figured I'd give you a rundown of checking the calibration of my EMAP sensor. It's been on the car for, I don't know, maybe a couple thousand miles now. And just kind of running through and making sure that all my sensors are reporting correctly still. I know I had a conversion error for this particular EMAP sensor that I had goofed in some recent program versions. So I went back and fixed it. And so now I'm just doing another check. So I've got, that's the pressure sensor itself, of course wired into the harness that I've added to the car. I've removed the line, so this is a hard copper line that goes, right now it plugs into the secondary air injection port, which is no longer used, but hidden down there in that dark spot there. So all I've got is a silicone vacuum line to a little T, and on the T I've got a pressure regulator, and on the other branch of the T I've got a pressure gauge. So this is just a compression tester gauge, nothing fancy, but it gives me a good reference for PSI, which is the outer scale from 0 to 100. And so as let's see here. Of course, whatever, that's not a fancy thing. So as I roll up this pressure regulator, I'm going to roll this up to about 10 psi. Let it settle, get close to it. Maybe a little over. Okay, so we're sitting at 10 psi. So then I come in here in the car, and the first source for that data is the Arduino, because that's where the sensor is plumbed to. So I'm showing for EMAP, I'm showing 9, 8, 9. So I think that's very fair. And then that Arduino is then also sending it to race capture. So I've got EMAP showing up there. So both of those check out, and I'll do that a few more times. Let's say 20, 30, and maybe 40. Well, let's just go ahead and go up to, let's see if the line will stay on for 40 psi. Get it close. Okay, 40 psi. So my Arduino LCD and the race capture display should both be showing 40. And hey, look at that, 40, 40. So we're calibrated nicely. So that pressure sensor is still working well. The little reservoir that I made, or collector that I made for it, this guy, when I pulled him off, there was no moisture inside, which is wonderful. I built a little sump there to collect moisture if it decided to build up, but haven't seen any yet, so that's a great thing. The sensors easily can handle some water, so not a sensor issue, but just nice to have a clean, dry line. So she checks out. Happy with that.